David T versus Jonbeast Madden Bowl, Madden MCS playoffs. This is a quarterfinal matchup. Jonbeast coming in as the number 2 seed, David T coming in as the number 10 seed. Now, David T really put a lot of people on notice with his defense in the previous matchup against Dez. He's rocking the 3-5 odd. One of the only people in the tournament that's really running 3-5 odd is his main defense, and he came through with a really impressive defensive performance against Dez, in which he had probably the best blitz we saw in the first round. So, that being said, we're going to see how John kind of approaches uh, tackling that blitz. John is going to be on offense first. And real quick, kind of the theme team that I think both these guys are rocking are Eagles, Lions, Chiefs. Seems to kind of be the meta. So, all right. So, off rip here, a little run game for John to start out, try to get on a hash. And again, this is the 3-3-5 odd. Now, what David T did, let's just walk through this real quick here, is this was a really good disengage loop that we were getting with 3. The other thing he was able to do is he was able to send 4 off this edge, like so, or he could send 4 off this backside right here. And then if he needed to, he could send 5 to really ramp up the pressure. So, and then pretty much going to be using here over time. Now, Jonbeast is going to do something early in this first drive that's going to kind of set the tone for this game. And I did want us to see that, but take a look here. John's going to audible route a lot. Another thing is both of these guys in this game are going to be in the Saints offensive playbook. Both of these guys are going to be rocking Saints. And I do think that Saints has kind of secured the position of at least a top 5 playbook in this game, if not the number 1 offensive playbook in general. Now, notice what Jonbeast does here. He is going to motion his tight end over here to the left side, and he's going to block his tight end. And this pretty much took away the blitz threat all game. This right here was just a big mistake by David T. I don't know what he was thinking. I think he might have thought that he needed to switch stick from this guy to go guard a post route here potentially. Again, I've been talking about this a lot this year, and I'm kind of surprised that I just consistently see the same thing. And I know it's hard. It's like we're talking about seconds here, but I don't know why we don't switch stick over here right now. He might be on a streak in this specific case, but I just feel like he's got a better chance of safer play to rob that way. Because what a lot of people would do is they're going to click on this guy, they're going to drop him down, and then they're going to click on this guy and try to run him over the top. And that I just think is really hard to pull off. And you just consistently see here, as you see, he throws a touchdown. Now, here he was definitely on a streak. So in this specific case, John just had literally 3 streaks. Kind of an odd route combo, but he was able to get a touchdown out of it and really kind of got a free touchdown basically out of a mistake by David T. One of the things about these games, guys, is there's all this pressure, there's a crowd, there's a lot of things that are different about an MCS game than a game at home. And there's a lot of factors, right? One of the things I think is important is John to me kind of feeds off of that. Loves to talk a little bit. He's got the passion, super excited all the time. And he kind of feeds off of the live environment. I think somebody like a David T, who's a little bit more of a systematic player, somebody that is going to kind of try to just out execute you, basically. I think sometimes, the live environment could be something that he has to take into consideration, and how does he handle that live environment, right? How does he keep himself calm? Now, I think he actually did a decent job in this game of keeping himself calm, but I think it's just 2 significantly different styles of play. John's going to freestyle more. John's going to be more live event, like John's going to have more momentum on the live event. And then here, first play, this is kind of what I'm talking about. So David T just makes, there's just a couple big mistakes in the first couple plays. So David T here goes with a kind of a horizontal strain combo here. We got a flat, we got a zig, we got a drag, we got a short post, right? I wanted to note, I actually did want to highlight John's defense because This, I think, a lot of people have shifted to the Saints book as being kind of one of the top playbooks in the game. And David T is a really good offensive player. And so you see here, he just gets shedded. He does see this zig, which he playmaker that way. He's going to see this get open late. And basically, David T is going to try to throw the ball all the way over here, is what it seems like to me. Right? You see there, throwing the ball in a circle. Problem is, just too much pressure. And when you throw back across your body, it takes you an extra second. He gets that throw and then throw out a sack and I believe throw out a sack pick six. Now, if you remember back to the game against Dez, very similar to what happened in the game against Dez as far as getting that early advantage. And it really served David the entire game against Dez. Against John, not an ideal start for him. This is a really critical drive. David does get ball at half. He can get back into this game if he just goes down, gets a touchdown, and kind of gets us back to normal, right? Get us back to get his feet on the ground a little bit, right? John's yelling at him. Live environment. This is a game that I believe is worth $45,000. The winner of this game will secure $100,000 at this event. So it's a huge game. Notice that, and we talked about this a little bit, but I wanted to highlight John's defense. So John is double safety go, and really what his primary defense is he's basing out of that cover for a drop. Now, we saw SEO Drip. SEO Drip played Abram yesterday of this event, and day one of this event. And SEO Drip did a really good job defensively against Abram. If you guys didn't know, Abram and David, lab partners, Abram and David, friends. Abram and David both rocking the Saints offensive playbook. So, John probably watched that game and noticed that when you ran this B gap blitz, it would really put some good pressure on the quarterback. And you could either drop this guy into a yellow or blitz him as well. And you'll see John do this pretty much every single time. Now, he's also doing it out of a cover 4 hard flatted shell. And, I mean, there's really not a ton of crazy adjustments. Here, we're going to get cover 4 here. And then it looks like we got man lock on these two players here, as you see. And then we have yellow hard flat. John is on the linebacker here. He did drop the defensive tackle, so this is a send 3. And you're seeing kind of how this defense is just going to make it hard to throw. Right, he's right there. He's closing throwing lanes. And this is what I've been talking about literally all year, is if you can get pressure sending 4, if you can get pressure sending 3, it really outplays into your advantage because of everything you can then do from a coverage perspective in the back end of the defense. This is why ultimately, even though a lot of people really love David T's performance defensively in the first round, we're going to see in this game one of the big weaknesses of his defense and one of the massive strengths of the 146 or the dollar defense. The 146 or the dollar defense in general is the best defense in the game. It is the best defense in the game. I don't think it's even close right now. And pretty much we're seeing dollar from everybody. We saw dollar from Football 88. We saw dollar from SEO Drip. We saw dollar from John. We're seeing dollar from John. We saw dollar from oh my gosh, I had drawn a blank here. We saw dollar from 88, SEO Drip, Jonbeast. I believe probably saw it from Big Tay. We saw dollar from gosh, there's somebody else that ran it and I just can't. Oh, Clef. We saw dollar from Clef. See my point. So, dollar is king in this game, and this double safety go with this blitz right here with the cover 4, and then really just adjusting out of that shell. That John is consistently kind of putting a vert hook on that right side, and then what he's able to do is he's either able to switch stick if he needs to, or he can jump something. Reason for that vert hook is to try to stop the flat zig combos. So David really just on the rocks right now. Trying to pick up this pressure. Going to go with a wheel streak flat post. Had a touchdown there. And we get to a point in this game, especially right here. This is the most important down in the game. And David is going to go for this. I do think you still go for this. But I could see you not going for this and just taking your 3. But it just comes down to, does he think he can stop John? Him going for it kind of tells you. And look at this again, boys. One of the other things that John would do is when he thought you were setting, he would mix in this loop. So right here, this is the loop version. So he's not running the B gap version. He's going to run the crossfire loop version. Why did he do that? I'm not 100% sure because the crossfire is easier to pick up. I think I would assume so that he doesn't have to run into the line and he can bail into coverage quickly. The nice thing about Dollar is you have a 4-man crossfire and you have a 4-man B gap loop. So that's a disengage. So, anyways, what you're going to see from a coverage perspective here is he is going to give up a touchdown. David T is just going to miss it. So you see here, he cross mans. He's going to rob this drag. He's got cover 2 on the right side with a quarter. And then here, you're going to jump down here. And the speed out is wide open. David T getting pressured just enough, and actually just got a flat out shed by Julius Peppers. Able to get the pressure. If you guys didn't also know about defense in this game, when you send 4 at the quarterback, that is going to give you much, much better sheds than when you send 3. Okay, you're going to get a lot better sheds when you send 4. So here, David T going back to his blitz. We've not seen the blitz really come in at all. And then Jonbeast able to roll out. It really is the difference that like 24 hours can play. It's the difference that one night of lab work really can play. David T's defense looked unstoppable. It looked so good against Dez. And I think it's truly because not a whole lot of people had really seen that blitz at that point. Now, playing against John, who just saw that game, was able to take a night and lab for this blitz, get past pro. We're seeing this blitz look very, very average at best. He's blocking it every single time. It really goes to show the difference that good pass protection can make, the difference that a good blitz can make. And I'm honestly kind of surprised. Here he does get some pressure. Almost got a switch there. That would have been huge for David. I'm honestly kind of surprised that David stays with this defense. The reason why is because I would assume that he's either in the Patriots playbook or the Vikings playbook. Both of those playbooks have 1-4-6, 3-4 odd, 4-3 even 6-1, double mug. It has a lot of different defenses that you can use. And this defense just really wasn't working. I mean, it's even hard to say that. Like, if you really look at this defense is, everything's tight. Everything's tight for sure. And it could just be a matter of like John got out to a really good start early and it just got away from him quickly. This is a massive drive though. You need to at least hold the 3 here. If John gets a touchdown on this drive, this is going to be tough for David to come back. He's already in a really bad spot. The fact that he gets ball at half is really what's saving him right now. Kind of some odd route combos for John. There you see there's the blitz. He gets good pressure. See, like that's the thing. It's like these. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if David just tried to send 6 too much. I really believe in sending 4 in this game. And the reason why is because when you start sending 5, you start sending 6, it is just so easy to throw the ball. Because if you pick up the blitz, everything in the world is open. You cannot cover in this game sending 5. You cannot cover in this game sending 6 consistently. There's just too many holes, too many vulnerabilities. Notice that John is just putting this tight end to the left, but now he's sending him on routes. And there you go again. Blitz gets picked up. And that was the second time that David should have had an interception on this drive. He didn't. But did show some fight on that drive and was able to hold the 3, which is what he needed to do. At some point, though, you're going to have to go down and get 7 offensively. This is really the issue. I really think David's defense, now that I look at it a second time, watching it live, I didn't think this, but as I look at this a second time, notice John doesn't have his hooks on 5, by the way, so he can have a full library of match coverage. And he gets reroutes and things like that. As you look at this game a second time, I think you notice it really was David's offense. Even more so than the defense. The defense wasn't it was good. It really wasn't bad. It was, he gave up that 1 switch stick on the first drive. Then he got pick 6 fumbled. Then he held him to 3. Like, we're through the first quarter. You could make an argument that should be a 3-0 game. It's just really the massive mistake of throwing back across your body. Very uncharacteristic of David too, like very uncharacteristic. He normally just throws that away. So I don't know, and it's a big matchup for him. This is a big matchup for him. I think this is probably the biggest game, and you're seeing John just absolutely switch stick and lurk. One of the things about this doubles flex wap close, in my opinion, is I think you can fall in love a little bit with these short posts, and if you have someone that's got a good switch, they can jump them pretty good, which is what you're seeing John do. And got him again. That was the other fourth down stop. David went to that play that Abram ran all day yesterday. Didn't. And really, John just, I mean, look at this play from John. Like, John is playing out of his mind well. Look at this. He switched it on to Tillman, swats it. It's a really, part of this is too, like, David looked probably the best out of anybody on day one. John, John is bagging. And there you see there's the pressure. Like, there's the pressure. So I don't know if I really put this game on David's defense. I think you have to put it on his offense. I think his defense is still really good at this game if you really watch what's going on. And, I mean, look, the pressure's yeah. See, like right there, that's where I say like, no pressure, good pass pro from John, kind of easy to make a read. And again, this is where I would say I think you can't send five a lot in this game. I think you can't send six a lot in this game. I think you have to it really has got to center around a sin four. If everything has to center around a sin four in this game. Here he's going to shift right. The shift right blitz did not work anywhere near to what the shift left blitz did. This is kind of what I've been trying to tell people about Dollar and N146. You can technically run the blitz on both sides, but it's significantly worse on the right side as far as the consistency. So there, John not only calls it to the right, but he also utilized a play action play. And then another thing that John found in this offense that I do think is worth noting is one of the runs that we see him use a lot in this game is this single back bunch X nasty wide zone. Been waiting for this run to really be good in Madden for a while, and I do think it is really good this year. Got a nice flat wheel there. But see, this is good defense. Like, I think ultimately, as you look at this game, we're 6 minutes into the game. David T's down 17. John's got the ball on the goal line. You really walk away and you say, man, the offense just couldn't move. And what's interesting is Jonbeast is running the same offense. Jonbeast is running Saints. He's running the exact same offense David T is running here. I think this is a great lab run. This is something that I think it doesn't ultimately work there. But the outside zone is a run that I would take a look at. Didn't work for me right there, but I've seen that outside zone pop pretty good. So anyway, John gonna take all the clock down and gonna take it 20-0. So honestly, everything that David T has been through offensively, he's gotten stopped, I think, 3 straight times. One of them was a pick six, a D-line pick six, and he's only down 20-0 when he gets ball at half. Honestly, if you're David T, I don't think this is what's going through his mind right here. But he's not in it. He can get back in this game. All he has to do to get back in this game is get 7 here. Because if he gets 7 here, he gets ball at half. It can be 14-20, and David T's defense is still playing pretty good. So I think that's a part of it too. Is like just kind of playing the next play, playing the next play, playing the next play. But ultimately, very fortunate for David that he recovered that. Ultimately, I don't think this offense. It's hard to say. Is it John's defense? Is it David's offense? Is it David's reads? Sometimes it's just the way you read the field. But I do think David's hitting like right there. That was real tight window, good read. He just needs 7 here. At the end of the day, he just needs 7 here. And he's gonna take sack. You're gonna go RPO read flat here. No, he's gonna go dagger whip. This post route's a real interesting route. Great switch stick from John. David T got very lucky right there. It's a great switch stick. I think John switched off of him, and David T threw it anyway. That's what we call a trust throw. But again, David T down in the red zone. Can he? The whole premise of this dollar defense, by the way, which I have said this again and again and again in a lot of these videos, the whole premise of the dime 3-2, the dollar defense, the strategy behind it, the big picture strategy, is it makes you work. It will wear you out. The real X factor in this defense is the switch stick. It maximizes your switch stick, and it if you can a nice inside zone there from Perry, just didn't quite get that extra yard. But if you so two things. Number one, you're rarely going to give up a huge play. You're going to give up stuff underneath, but you're rarely going to give up like a one play touchdown in the dollar if you're running it right. So you're going to force them to drive up the field while your switch. That was a really unfortunate because that was a great route and that was wide open. While you and Abram, I think, threw that exact same route in his game and hit it. You're going to force them to drive up the field. You're going to be switch sticking all over the field. It's going to be hard to read it. You're going to be disguising what you're doing because it's the same look every single time. And then you're going to get in the red zone, right? So the pressure's been on the switch stick, and now you get in the red zone down here. It's hard to score in this area. It really is very difficult to score. This is a nice little cooked up red zone dot. Triangle's wide open. Dave decided he didn't want to throw it. And the whole point of this play, by the way, this is a little something I'm gonna say this. So this is a cheat wheel. Okay. So the whole point of a cheat wheel is to beat shaded down man or cover two. So the whole reason we're calling this play is for really this route. Okay. We know that right here at this point, if we're looking, and this is where I don't know what David was seeing. I just feel like he just didn't see the field offensively this game. It could be that simple. He just played bad on offense. But look at triangle, guys. To me, this is your first read. You see this as a hard flat. Look at this. Look at that. Come on, Dave. You guys know I love David T. No, I love David T. I'm a huge fan of his game. I really wanted to see him win this game. I picked him to win this game. You can't miss that read. 4th and 1. The whole reason you called a play is for that route. I don't know why he didn't throw it. I truly believe he just missed the read, or he was anticipating John to switch stick and he didn't. Right? So John got an audible into bunch nasty. And now he's gonna go to this wide zone. Is he gonna go to the wide zone? Oh, he's not gonna go to the wide zone. What's he doing? Taking a timeout there? Didn't like it. So John kind of in an interesting spot. Again, the fact that David gets ball at half really is what's keeping him around and why John has to play this kind of a specific way. He doesn't necessarily need to score, but at the same time, and there's a big sack from David T. You see the timeout there. Now you're in a weird spot in this 3rd and 14. And if David could get the ball back, again, I'm telling you, there's so many scenarios where David T could get back in the game if he could just score 7. There, good flat route from John to good flat route from John to Perry, gets upfield, first down, and now John can pretty much take the half. At the end of the day, I think John, we're kind of getting to the point in the game where John should just get out of the game and move on. If you let David hang around too much, one of the things is if you let him hang around in this game too much, you could let him hang around enough to get back in the game. Obviously, at this point, it doesn't look like that. But I'm telling you right now, David T, there's going to be some stuff that happens in the second half. He's going to have a chance. So, gosh, and I'm telling you, boys, just when you look at this game in totality, you look at this first half in totality, all you can really say is this offense just wasn't it just was not getting the job done. But the blitz, look, there's the blitz again, right? There's the blitz again. I don't know what he's doing on his back end on his coverage. I feel like his coverage is a little soft. Um, but it is situationally like that because he's probably just trying to keep him from scoring 7. I don't think David really cares if he gives up a field goal. I think he really cares if he gives up a touchdown. So, anyway, so you see John working up the field. John's going to get 3. But I mean, John, 3 straight field goals. 3 straight field goals. So, you know, unless he scores here. I don't know if he does. Couldn't remember. Motion the wheel out. Perry. Kind of a lot of. Again, you watch John, these are really odd route combos. These are not like, these are just strange, man. Stem up 10-yard in route. It just doesn't even look good to me. Intentional grounding. That's why I don't love the way John plays the game offensively, but I get why it works good, especially lately. Like, he didn't, I don't feel like John used to play like this as much as he does now. But I feel like now John is freestyling everything. I mean, it is just like, I know that he has played the game nonstop and he's knows every. He's one of those guys. The thing I like about John is that I feel like he never stops playing the game. Like when he plays more than anybody. And he said he's been playing a lot coming into this tournament. But you look at some of the route combos, and you're like, we're running a slant. Like what? You just don't see that a lot. So anyway, here 4th and 23, gonna throw it away. He is gonna still be able to get 3 out of this drive, which is crazy. And he's gonna go into half 23-0, I believe. We'll see what happens on the kickoff. David gonna get a kick return chance. And if you're David, frustrated, but you gotta regroup at halftime. You really honestly are 2 stops out of this game, which is not impossible for the way he's been playing defense. He's right there if he could score. If he could score, he could play. His offense, it's crazy to me that it's the same offense that John was running, right? They're both running. They're both running Saints. It's just David did not have it offensively this game at all. All right, boys, that's first half. All right, second half. We'll see what David T can do. Can he score? At the end of the day, if he could score, he could be back in this game. It really is that simple. His defense is playing pretty good, good enough, especially against Jonbeast, one of the best offensive players in the world. He just can't move. Like he can't move on offense. He can't. There's just nothing, and it's not really. We could break down the coverage that John's doing, but it's really not that crazy. Look at that. It's just, look at that. It's cover 4 with that little vert hook. The vert hook, honestly, is hurting John. I feel like. I don't feel like that vert hook's really doing John that much service. It's hard flat cover 4, man. At its core, it's the cover 4 hard flat. There's some things he's doing, but it really is. It's double safety go, and we'll look at it specifically here. Looks like it's half slide right ID. Look, this is a vert hook. This is a third or quarter, hard flat, hook curl, user jammed in. And look at this here. Where's John switching? He's really mainly switching underneath. And if he sees a short post, he'll switch to bam like that. Here, kind of a bad switch stick, and David T able to hit that corner route. He might be curl flatting, he might be cloud flatting on that side, but it's really not. Conceptually, to me, it's fairly the same. David T can go back to that play. He ran on 4th down. A little short post on the back end. Look at this here. Hard flat. Quarter. Vert hook. This could be a cloud. Quarter. Like, look. It's the same shell every time. I think this is a cloud. I don't know what this is. This zone is not a quarter. And if it is, that's terrible. I don't know what that zone is. I don't know if this is two yellow zones. I don't know. Anyway, it's bagged. And D line pick six again. 30-0. John. It's the second D line pick six of the game. And at some point, the offense has to score. Right? You win the game by scoring more points than your opponent. You have to score. David, one of the best offensive players in the world. Notice that, and this is also critical. Look at this real quick. David's setting up pass pro. Watch the running back. Watch him step. See how he steps? He's setting up pass pro for this pressure. I would think. And you're getting this. So John did do a decent job of mixing this blitz in enough. He didn't run it a ton. He actually ran the other one more. But boom. And there's just, what are you throwing to? Who are you even throwing to? I think he's trying to throw it away. He's just late. He's late on everything this game. Everything is late. Everything is slow. Everything is. You watch the offense in this game, compare that to what we've seen David T do for a long time in the MCS. This is the worst he's ever played on offense. This is the worst he's ever played. And most people would agree that defense in this game is hard. Often the game favors plays to the offense. The offense should score more, and just not really the case right now with David T. And I don't know what I would be curious to know is how long has he actually been in the Saints? Because David T is the kind of player that if he stays in a book for a really long time, he's gonna really master the reads and stuff. But I think when he playbook switches, it hurts him a little bit. I want to know how long he's been in Saints. I really do. Because, Saints has not looked good from him. It didn't look good from Abram. There's some parts of it that are cool. And John is also in Saints. But I wouldn't say John's offense is dominating this game. He's kicked 3 field goals and he has 14 points from his defense. So let's do the math on that. Out of the 30 points that Jonbeast has on this game, 14 of them are D-line pick sixes, and then 9 of them are field goals where David T stopped him. So that's 23, or that's 20. What even is that? Is that 20? Is it 23? 9, 17. Yeah. 23. 14 plus 9. I don't know why I was thinking 17. 14 plus 9 equals 23, right? I did take math class. Good pocket from David T. Roll out. You got to get down there. But look at everything is slow. He's fumbled once. He almost fumbled there. He's not sliding on time. Everything is a step behind in this game for David T. offensively, and that is the real reason that this score is what it is. It's 30-0. 23 of those points are basically what I would consider to be off turnovers, off stops from John, where he gets the ball in scoring range, off D-line pick sixes, right? And finally, David T. decides, let's pass the ball a little bit. And he just catches him. I think John honestly pulled the inside quarter out of the way, which is why he's mad at himself. David T. able to pop a seam streak, and now he's going to go for 2. And this is where this game does start to kind of move a little bit. And we start to see some things that I think just highlight, here David T. just finds a way, right? Able to get the ball in the back of the end zone, catch it. John going to have to go on offense here. But I want to take a look at what you're going to see from David T. This is David T.'s last shot, truly. Game is going to be hard to come back from, but this is his last shot. If he gets a stop here, then it's, could potentially be 16-30 where he's only down 2 scores is really what you're hoping for. So we'll see what he's able to do defensively. But I'm not impressed. A lot of players in this event are running Saints. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the best, right? I think it's really good. But as we're watching these games, we still see Eagles being the top dog. You look at the fancy game where he played Wesley, Eagles on both sides. I just have not seen Saints be that real good. even though a lot of people are in it. It's crazy. I will say too, like one of the real underrated things that has made the game better, and I was so critical of it, is truly switch stick. And the reason why it's made the game better is it's made the game a lot more fun to watch. It's given defense a shot. Right, this game right here, all about defense. This specific one, John's defense. This is all about John's defense. There, John gets bad timing, misses a throw. David T gets a stop. Right, David T. Again, we're basically in the fourth quarter. We've gone through 3 quarters of this game. David T's only given up 1 touchdown on his defense. So it's not like John just came out and darted everything, right? At this point in the game, this is where I just, this is his shot. Him getting 16 would be huge for him to kind of stay in the game a little bit. Gonna go to dagger whip. Deep speed out on the left side. Has a little table. Gonna throw that speed out. No, he's not gonna throw it. He's gonna playmaker that. Able to get in there. And this 2-point conversion is huge. This 2-point conversion is huge because this could potentially make it a 14-point ball game in a game that David T's been absolutely destroyed in. Imagine if he got 7 at a half. All right, little bench pivot, able to hit the in route, and we have 16-30. So now we have a 14-point ball game in a game where David T really has been getting blown out. We have a 14-point ball game, and it's going to be Jonbeast ball. Actually, I don't know why is it taking too long. Okay, let's go. Let's move. Let's get to Jonbeast. So, again, John has not really moved offensively. Like, he's moved a little bit, but he's not looked like amazing on offense, right? It really has not looked crisp, hasn't looked clean. It's been a lot of freestyle here and there. And really, John's defense is why he's in this position. He's going to go to single back bunch X nasty, wide zone weak, and he's going to pop it with Perry and get out of there for a massive, massive run. You see John's face, you see John's emotion. Why? Because this was huge for John. Why did he go to this run? Because he, could be just, well, he wanted to get some clock going, whatever. Maybe he labbed it up. Just kind of popped a run. It just kind of popped, right? It just kind of popped. So it was huge for John. It really was huge for John because getting this back to a 21-point game compared to a 14-point game, the momentum was starting to build for David. Now, David, again, this is another big drive for David. There's been so many drives where David has had to really come to play and put everything that's happened in this game kind of behind him. And you're going to see here, really not a great play, almost got D-line picked again. Corner route left, missed it. There's John's mom. Shout out to John's mom. Finally at an event. Good to see her at the event there. And a good playmaker, overthrow, 4th and 17. This is where the game really started to turn. But again, David's offense, man. At the end of the day, did not have it on offense. It could have maybe just been a bad game. But this is why winning these tournaments is so hard. He's able to hit Kittle up the seam on 4th and 17. Able to get a huge, huge throw. It's really been seam streaks in key spots. That time John moves him into place. Roll out, throw away with RG3. 2nd and 10. I think one of John's issues is that quarter on that right side is out of position. Almost lurked him. He's right there. And John's been doing that consistently. David T is, I don't know why he's not putting a streak there. I feel like that's a pretty, I just don't understand why he does it here. There's the streak. Now that's open more, but really, and this was why John, I think, was using this vert hook. Watch what he does here. This is cool. So again, and I want to really say this again and again, boys, This isn't very complicated coverage. It really isn't. It's really not. Look, it's a send four, cover four, but what John does is he vert hooks this guy. This is probably why he vert hooks this guy, is really for this play right here. David T, the ball needs to go here, and we need to get out of bounds. David T misses the read. But he's moving here, but then watch what John was going to do with his user. He's going to lurk back. Watch. Boom. See him snap back on that post? At that point, this is open. It's too, obviously in real time, it's harder to see this, but like really good defense from John. Seriously. And kind of a combination of misreads, but a hard read to make. But John's basic strategy going into this game is I'm not going to let you throw short posts over the middle field. I feel like defensively that was why he was using the short side vert hook so much. He used that short side vert hook, tight end side vert hook a ton. Here he's not going to use that. See how he switch sticked on that, took that away. 4th and 10. David T gets stopped. Offense, boys. His offense couldn't move. He really couldn't move all game. He had really the best drive he had was when he stopped John on 4th down. That was the best drive he had all game. Other than that, it was basically I popped a seam streak 2 times for big plays, and honestly, it was probably John for having that inside quarter so far out of position. You got to drag that inside quarter in a little bit, and he'll play that. Anyway, single back bunch checks nasty, single back bunch checks nasty, wide zone weak. This time I'm going to go back. See, that run, that same exact front, that same exact look, everything the same. He popped that run a second ago. This time it gets shot for 3 yards in the backfield. That's why I don't consider, if you just pop an 80-yard run, while that's nice for you, I wouldn't say that's like a knock on David T's defense. I would just say he popped a run because the run game is really random this year. It's very inconsistent. 3rd and 8. And part of this too, like to be fair to John, he's not trying to score 100 points. He's trying to kind of just work the ball up and down the field. So I get that too. Nice switch stick from Dave T. Not able to complete the switch there, but it was actually pretty nice. He was able to jump that. And here John's going to punt. And this right here, this is the story of the game. Watch what David T does. He almost blocks it. And then I don't know why he doesn't fair catch it, but he doesn't fair catch it. And John gets the fumble for 6. I give John some credit, though. I will say one of the things I like about John is 100% himself. I like that about John. I think that makes him better as a player. I also think that as you watch John play in these events, it's 44-16. John and David, I think, are actually pretty decent friends off the field. John has a killer instinct. When he will bury you. It's his mind. His mindset is, I will bury you. I'm not going to let up. I'm not going to, I like that about John. I really like that about him. Anyway, 2nd and 1. Stemmed up, speed out, streak. And you just see. I wonder if he's playing cloud flats at this point on the outside, because those short corners and those speed outs really haven't. I don't think I've seen David throw a speed out all game. Which is surprising. Like here he's gonna put one out there, watch the speed out, it's open. It actually is open. He keeps trying to throw that post in that pocket, and that post is taken away. Why? It's because of that tight inside vert hook, which I criticize. That's the whole reason why John's doing that, is to take away that short side post. 4th and 6, able to scamper up with A.J. Brown. I'll tell you what, John is putting a defensive clinic on how to defend Saints, by the way. And it's very, very, very simple. Good switch stick, takes it away, gets the pick. 44-16, John. The passion, the bully-like mentality we're seeing, John. Love to see that. There's wide zone. This time it pops, right? This time it pops. Kind of interesting. But I think at this point, John is going to clock this out. See what David decides to do. Take that down to the 2. Let's see what John calls on this first down. Well, David had a good year. Ultimately, just the root issue is the offense didn't come to play. Offense didn't come to play. I mean, he gave up 2 D-line pick sixes. He didn't fair catch on the punt return, which was a fumble. There's 21 points off turnovers. 21. Let alone the fourth down stops that he ultimately held to field goals. And you see the handshake here. John's going to go ahead and put the game away. And John's going to be victorious. Just feel like ultimately David beat himself. He probably would say the same thing. Didn't have enough offensively. That could be for a lot of reasons. Maybe he just wasn't seeing the field. Maybe he switched playbooks too late in the year. There's a lot of factors at play there. But ultimately, Jonbeast moves on, and David T's Madden season is pretty much over with this one. He's headed into the offseason with a good year. Won a game at Madden Bowl. I think he made a lot of money this year. I don't know exactly how much. This big David T fan. Sad to see him go out like this. Sad to see this game. But I do hope that he carries the momentum from this game into next year. So anyway, I wanted to thank you guys for watching this game. If you guys are looking to get better at Madden or college football, join my school community where I teach you everything that I've learned and know about the game. That is going to be linked in the description. Cool part is it's only $10. So you get every piece of knowledge that I have for about $10. So thanks for watching. And if you want to sign up for school, it's in the description below.